Good evening, friends and family, and thank you for being here with us tonight. Before we begin, I would like to ask you to please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
My name is Emma Kelly, and I've had the honor to be the president of the class of 2021 here at Smith Academy. On behalf of my class, I really want to thank the faculty for their endless dedication to the development of Smith Academy as a whole. Now, everyone, welcome to the Smith Academy graduation for the class of 2021. Friends, families, teachers, staff, and supporters, we thank you all for being here. About 6 years ago, we had our very first class here at Smith Academy. We didn't know quite who we were or who we were going to be, but how could we? This was the first step in the long journey from here. Since then, we have matured mentally, physically, and emotionally. We have formed powerful bonds gained from valuable experiences and have made a mark on Smith Academy that will last until the end of time. To Smith Academy's class of 2021, I speak directly to you. Many people have a skill that they truly excel at. This could be any traditional skill, from soccer to clarinet or to chess. Others are talented in other ways that might not usually be viewed as skills, but instead, testaments of great character. They may be active participants in their community. They may be dedicated to what they do, for they understand the value in a job well done. I want to strongly encourage my peers to understand what their strengths are and to embrace them. I want you to also accept weaknesses. But lastly, I want you to continue to reinforce your strengths. In a world full of discord, we all need to accept each other for their strengths and weaknesses, and most importantly, accept our own. There are different people from many communities throughout our world where everyone can contribute their own unique gift. This diversity is what makes our world such a beautiful place. As the ceremony ends and we finally enter the world as newly born individuals, I want you to accept those in your community for their differences. But most importantly, I want you to accept or utilize your own differences and make a significant impact in your community. Now, class of 2021, I must conclude. But I'd be remiss if I did not thank you all for the honor of being your president and for the years of memories together. We must acknowledge that we truly are one of the most well-rounded, hardworking, and impactful groups that have walked the halls of Smith Academy. Whether you're headed to college, the workforce, the military, or still trying to figure it out, I have the confidence that we will be successful in whatever path we take. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2021. Now I would like to introduce Ainsley LaFlamme, third honors.
Thank you, Emma, for the warm welcome, and thank you all for being here. It was May 21st when Mr. Brown assigned our second to last class assignment, yet the most important one. The task was to write a 1 to 3 minute mock graduation speech as if you were to speak at your graduation. Personally, I felt targeted by this prompt due to my avoidance of starting my real speech and even wondered if my mom had bribed Mr. Brown to give us this assignment. Based on her ever-growing frustration regarding my procrastination and the timing of this assignment, it didn't seem too unrealistic. I spent the 22nd and 23rd laying in bed, and unfortunately, myself, along with the rest of the senior class, appeared to fall ill on the 24th. The 25th rolled around, everyone miraculously feeling better, besides a few painful sunburns, yet I still had no mock speech. With an hour until Google Classroom would inevitably declare my speech late, I set out writing the most cliché, stereotypical speech I could, mentioning these unprecedented times on at least 3 separate occasions within 2 paragraphs. The end result was probably the most boring speech you would ever hear, especially when comparing it to Ashley's fake Oscar acceptance speech or Wyatt's grad speech, which was somehow inspired by a comment about gambling. But I figured I'd get the credit and move on. I did receive full credit and even a little comment that said nice with an exclamation point, but I didn't exactly move on. This dumb assignment made me open my eyes and see how foolish I've been when it came to writing my real speech. This whole year, most of us spent our time doing the work and getting the credit, but feeling no satisfaction with the final product. In a different year, I would have enjoyed a creative writing prompt like that, actually putting in time and effort, but instead I quickly wrote 3 paragraphs, barely considering the content and only focusing on the points that were up for grabs. It was after Mr. Brown graded our mock speeches when I realized my real speech was following the same trend as the first part of the year, where each assignment was completed with no care or consideration. I hate to admit it, but this speech was beginning to feel like an obligation, not an honor. So, I restarted my speech about 3 separate times, listening to those around me who tried to give advice on what to write. My sister told me to just not do it. My mom told me to write about me, which felt like a subpar answer. Wyatt and Claire suggested we all give a slightly different variation of the same speech, while Maddie Bell repeatedly expressed how grateful she was that she would not be delivering a graduation speech next year. In the end, I ignored most of the guidance I received, both serious and superficial, because there is no eloquent and non-cliché way of explaining the true impact each of my teachers and fellow classmates have had on me. To Miss LeGrand, thank you for the countless extra hours you put in earlier this year helping me catch up during a period where I was really struggling. You are the reason why I've decided to challenge myself and major in biomedical engineering at WPI. To Madam Boyle, thank you for stepping into our class advisor position when we really needed some help. With your guidance, I learned how to lead collaboratively and how to understand the responsibilities that are to be expected when representing a group. The hard work and sacrifices you made for our class did not go unnoticed and are appreciated greatly. To my fellow classmates, congratulations, we have finally made it. Thank you all for being the people who shaped me into the person I am today and for being the ones who helped prepare me to take on a new challenge. I won't lie and say that every moment together was all rainbows and unicorns, because let's be truthful, it wasn't. But I'd like to appreciate the little moments, like our group therapy sessions at the background table in 10th grade pre-calc, the many jokes that have been born from the odd obsession with the theme loss of innocence, and the agreed upon hatred for holding Caulfield and Catcher in the Rye. When I was younger, I always wanted to be our grade to be this tight-knit group because I thought that if it wasn't, I would feel zero connection to those graduating with me. But as senior year carried on, I found myself missing each and every one of your presences, unable to picture a learning environment where Chris isn't yelled at to get off his phone and Christian doesn't break into song at least twice. Despite the twinge of sadness that comes with a goodbye, I truly can't wait to see what everyone accomplishes in the future. Finally, I'd like to thank Mr. Brown for assigning the stupid fake speech assignment, because as much as I dislike the majority of your assignments, they were always the most important. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce this year's salutatorian, Wyatt Delaney Lefebvre. I'm putting this back here.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to start with a thank you to my parents, my grandparents for making the long trip to see me, along with my aunt who drove up from Pennsylvania, and the rest of my family who have come to celebrate this class's collective achievement. We are graduating high school. It's something we take for granted now, but when most of our parents were leaving their respective schools, nearly 1 in 6 students was a high school dropout. And today, that number has shrunk to 1 in 20. I'm proud to say that our record for the class of 2021 is almost spotless. I feel that in a small school, our class has had the luxury of avoiding many of the hurdles students face even one town over. In a larger school, a student might never have a true heart-to-heart with one of their teachers during their entire school experience. Well, here at Smith Academy, we are so close to our teachers that we can smell the burnt coffee on their breaths as they remind us the deadline is quickly approaching for an assignment. They know us well enough to ask what's wrong if we're having a bad day, and we often trust them well enough to tell them. Class side aside, large schools often have difficulties providing adequate technology for the entire student body, while here at Smith, well, the Chromebooks still stink, but there are trade-offs. I've never felt like just another face in the crowd in all my time here. There is such a significant overlap between the various cliques that there isn't any discernible popular group. The jocks are also the nerds, the artists are social, even the kids who don't do their homework. Well, that might have been all of us this year. But I found a little bit, and I could recognize a little bit of myself in everyone here. This is an occasion that happens only one time in our lives, and so I questioned the purpose of the speech many times during the writing process. I think a salutatorian should have things figured out by this point, so they might be able to pass on some valuable knowledge to their classmates at the end of this journey. I can tell you, I have almost nothing figured out. But I can squeeze something out for the sake of a speech that I'm required to do, just like I could squeeze out an essay for a book that I probably didn't read all of in English class. And so I stand here at this podium trying to force some semblance of normalcy after the year we have collectively endured. I could explain that we all have limitless potential, or how, after surviving a pandemic with our sanity, we can accomplish anything we put our minds to. And while it might be true to a degree, I think that sort of optimism would seem almost like mockery. But I'm not going to tell you the outlook is bleak either. Instead, I believe we stand at a crossroads before going our separate ways, and this is a time to reflect. My entire high school struggle can be summed up by the week leading up to college application deadlines. I stared blankly at my computer screen for hours every day at Christmas break at the question each of my prospective colleges was asking: why do you deserve to be a part of our school? As I repeated the question to myself over and over again, I could only come up with a single conclusion. I don't know. I really don't know. Any one of my friends at the time would have reminded me of my GPA, or told me I was smart, or insisted that I was a hard worker. But I had to convince myself. And this is the doubt that every high school student experiences. I'm sure all of you have experienced it at some point. Do I bother taking this honors course? Is it worth the extra work? Should I skip prom this year? Is this speech awful? High school is a collection of these questions, these doubtful questions, and each of them is a crossroads. Each time we were forced to pick a direction, and now we stand at the final crossroads of this portion of our lives. One direction leads to our dreams coming to fruition, another leads to mediocrity, and another to certain failure, whatever that might mean to you. But whichever direction we choose, one thing remains certain. There is no going back in the direction from which we came. I believe we should not hold on to this part with too tight of a grip, because it's meant to only get better from here. And at the same time, we should not be too eager to leave it all behind. If we depart from Smith Academy wanting nothing more than to ditch the small town life, then we clearly haven't learned anything from our time here. I hope all of you in this class can move on with your faces to the sun, the wind against your back, and with purpose in your step. I came to Hatfield after transferring a total of 4 times in my elementary school, and so the very concept of friendship to me seemed impermanent. I thought it would be impossible to create anything meaningful or lasting, just as it had been for most of my childhood in the other schools that I bounced between, because I never felt truly close to anybody. But the weekends that I once assumed would be spent alone in my room have been spent having the most stupid fun with people who I now refuse to allow myself to forget. And nothing has been more important to me during my time here than this. To you, my friends, to my family, the staff here, especially Christy, who's reminded me when I've forgotten something, all I can say as I stand at this podium is a single thing: thank you. And for your main event, I would now like to recognize the valedictorian of the class of 2021, Claire Bennett.
Pretty sure this one's mine. Okay. Over the last few weeks, I've been given a lot of unsolicited advice about what to say in this speech. My family gave me the worst advice. One of them told me to write about fake news, so I don't think I'm going to do that. My dad told me to just plagiarize something. Fortunately, I'm almost 18 and I don't listen to my dad much anymore, so I won't be subjecting you to my rendition of the Gettysburg Address. There was some decent advice. Some people told me to write something really cliche about how much I love Hatfield and Smith Academy, about bright futures and Harry Potter metaphors, and how much I'm going to miss this place. And, I mean, believe me, I'll get to that. I was telling myself every idea that I had was terrible. I mean, I'm sure you all know how unprecedented these times are. From an unprecedented pandemic consuming the whole of my senior year to an unprecedented presidential election that took up the nerve-wracking 3 months, I wanted my speech to be nothing short of unprecedented. Something special, something the world had never seen before, not a hint of precedent in sight. But there is room for cliché, room for precedent, and I want to leave all mentions of these unprecedented, crazy, unusual COVID times for the cutting room floor. I mean, my ideas were no good either. Too big, too grand, too unprecedented. The best advice, in the end, came from my friends. Wyatt told me to write about whatever the hell I want, because, as he put it, I'm the valedictorian, and people want to hear what I have to say. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Unlike many of the people on this stage, I grew up with only a tangential connection to Hatfield. My little sister went to daycare here in some big house with a backyard on King Street, where they gave her too many donuts at breakfast. To get to my school, which was at the time in Northampton, we took the highway exit in Hatfield. I knew the gas station, I knew King Street, and I knew the towns around us. But I didn't really know Hatfield. See, I grew up in Deerfield, 15 minutes north, and Deerfield is a lot like Hatfield. Everybody knows everyone. Rolling fields of farmland and industrial factories line the streets. Deerfielders, even more than Hatfield residents, feel this intense vicarious connection to their 17th century ancestors. But it is hard to feel like you belong in Deerfield. I lived out of town in an old house with peeling paint by the highway. My friends lived in the cozy colonials by Deerfield Academy. They were people who would go to school among Saudi princes and East Coast elites. I had other friends on Main Street whose great-great-great-grandparents had gone to high school there, and whose parents made it clear with little glances and eye rolls that my family, who moved to our little red siding house uptown in 2004, would never really fit in there. So I bounced between elementary schools and middle schools 5 times by the time I turned 13, desperately searching for that belonging feeling that, for an awkward adolescent with frizzy hair and a fragile temperament, never really came. And then I landed here, in this little single-story building with orange and green carpets, with a backpack full of dreams, and a worry in the back of my mind that I wouldn't fit in here either. And at first I was right. I spent my first weeks here lingering around the back of the classroom, poking fun at Mr. Brown in English class, but mostly feeling like a minuscule fish in the world's smallest pond. Everyone around me was going on a decade of friendship, and I felt the telltale loneliness sink in for the 6th time. But it didn't last. I joined the cheer team, chorus, and the musical, and all of the pieces fell into place exactly how I hoped they would. I found a home here, on cafeteria seats and Dare Center swing sets, in the fields behind my friends' houses, all over this little town. Now, not everyone had the experience I did. Admittedly, this place that I love so much is isolating, Politics and class, cliques and drama create in-groups and out-groups. I was lucky. I found my people. People that will be hard to leave when I move on to New York and when they're off to Florida or other parts of Massachusetts. I'll miss the people who get to stay here, too, maybe with a little bit of envy. Maybe I can't live in my hometown for the rest of my life, but sometimes I question whether I'm ready to leave. Sorry, Mom, I definitely want to move out. But sometimes, rarely, I still question it. Now, I could probably go on and on about the teachers who have shaped me, taught me the most, changed my life, but I think I only truly need to mention one. For Mr. Brown, I have a thank you and an apology. Unlike last year's valedictorian, I won't make a short joke, because let's face it, I'd be throwing stones from a glass house, and also because I think that's in poor taste. But thank you. In my mind, Smith Academy is synonymous with your classes. I mean it with no hyperbole at all that I would not be the person I am today without your constant derision, or if you hadn't pushed me as hard as you did. As for my apology, I am sorry that I made the choice to hate every book we read in your class. Truthfully, I love Catcher in the Rye, and I'm sorry I ever pretended I didn't. Mr. Brown, I consider myself lucky to have experienced 2 years, painful as they were, of your English class. Likewise, I could go on and on about the classmates who have changed my life, but all I need to say is thank you, and that you know who you are. Whether you've been by my side since middle school or just the past 2 months, my life is better for having known you. I am so lucky to have met the people that I've met. I'm lucky that you've changed my life for better and for good. So I've covered most of my cliches, how special this little town is, a drawn-out thank you to my esteemed guests, friends, supporters, ladies and gentlemen, the works. Unnecessarily fancy diction, pretentious language, hopefully some vocal variety. I made sure to say unprecedented a little too much in the beginning, like any good speech given in the last year. Even if Ainsley made fun of that. I've made sure to tell you, too many times, how lucky I am to be standing here. But I have yet to talk about how bright and storied all of our futures are. To be honest, I don't know exactly what I'm doing with my future. Honestly, I have no idea. I'm fortunate enough to be going to a wonderful school in a beautiful area, paying a little bit less than an arm and a leg. But beyond pulling all-nighters, I don't really have any plans for college. And I think that's okay. My longtime best friend, Emily, is the girl who makes big plans for the future. She's going to major in child psychology and go on to get her PhD, and I couldn't be prouder. I'm going to college to major in something, minor in something else, and then go on to earn a bachelor's degree in something. With career plans eventually of getting a job doing something somewhere. Some of us have everything figured out, down to their dream job and city. Some of us have very little. Now, I don't believe in fate. It scares me to think that bad things might happen for a reason. But I know each of us is going to land where we are meant to be, whether that means college, getting a job, taking time off, whatever it is. We will all get there in due time. I may not know all of you like the backs of my hands, but I know you well enough to know that you deserve success. And more importantly than success is happiness, and you will find that. So take a deep breath. Here's to bright futures, tired cliches, small-town patriotism, and wordy displays of gratitude. Most importantly, thank you, all of you. To have had Smith Academy in my life, I am nothing if not lucky. Next, I would like to reintroduce Vice President Ainsley LaFlamme and the extremely talented Greta Cooper for the presentation of the class gift. Thank you.
And now to officially present the class gift. This year, we took a slightly different approach than years past and decided with the various talented artists of the class, a class mural would be a wonderful way to carry on the legacy of the class of 2021. Despite this being a collaborative project that did end up bringing many members of our class together, oh my God, I did this during practice. The true credit goes to Greta Cooper, who organized, designed, sketched, and painted a majority of the mural. I would now like to hand over the mic to Greta for her to speak about her true masterpiece.
During the overall process of creating this piece, I have learned about my class as individuals and as a collective. Though at moments it may have felt difficult or challenging, we were all able to finish it together, and we now have an extraordinary artwork to look back on. The whole goal of the collaborative mural was to incorporate each part of the senior in this class and the town that we are students in, so it become one large spun web of our experience here at Smith Academy. Though I may not know others or as long or as well as I have with others in this class, I had the honor of guiding the class through the process. I want to say thank you to everybody who helped make this happen, especially to the seniors and juniors who helped complete this.
I would now like to introduce Maisie Dyer, class president of the class of 2022, to present her expression of gratitude.
On behalf of the class of 2022 and Smith Academy, I graciously accept your most generous gift. We also want to wish you all the best of luck as you move on to this next chapter of your life. Thank you.
I would like to introduce this year's commencement speaker, U.S. history teacher, Mr. John Garrett.
It's master tricky. Congratulations to the class of 2021 on your graduation from high school, and thank you to the small army of villages that it took to bring you all here. Standing in front of you makes it easy to remember my own graduation from this school back in the mid-aughts. Based on my experience walking very slowly and to a very specific beat out of these doors, I can assure you that you are all very lucky to be part of this community and to be Smith Academy graduates. One of the remarkable things about a ceremony like a graduation is how clear of a story is being told by everyone in this room in a conscious and deliberate way. We all know that we're here to witness and support an advancement in the life stage of a group of young people. The act of doing so is a gift to all involved. It gives us a chance to reflect on why we should be grateful to be here. We're celebrating the glory, the sorrow, and the inevitability of change. Even if this is not how you would specifically label the emotional state you're currently in, it doesn't matter. You're part of something that is being done in concert with others, and that can but help but impact you in a positive way. The basic point I want to drive home in this speech is that common experiences enrich everyone involved and provide an opportunity for personal growth and a recognition of mutual humanity. By seeing ourselves and others, it encourages us to serve them, which ultimately is the greatest service we can do for ourselves. Common experiences do not rise out of the ether, out of thin air. There is no immaculate conception of group activities. It takes work to cultivate them. No one knows better than the graduates the step that took to bring them here. The little ones you practiced, very slowly and to a very specific beat, are probably at the tops of your minds, but a whole community poured years of energy into making this moment of transition possible. A transition is an especially poignant moment to learn from, being both the start and the end of something. You've heard the accurate cliche that the only constant in life is change. Another framing of the same idea is life is constantly throwing chances for personal growth at you, and it's up to you to choose how you're going to use them. Generalities aside, you are no doubt aware that this and all collective experiences have a finite time frame in which they occur. Tonight, specifically, there's this speech to finish, the rest of the program to be run through, names to be read, and symbolic passports to the rest of these students' lives to be handed out. Soon, very soon, we'll all be through this graduation. Folks will be able to say, I was there, if the subject of the Smith Academy class of 2021 graduation comes up in their lives. It may, or it may not, as individual lives and paths wend apart. It will become, like everything in life, something that was, and because of that, unchangeable by those existing in the present. The slender thread of common experience between all the participants cannot be cut. 88 miles per hour in a DeLorean with a flux capacitor won't change a thing, nor a time turner for the Harry Potter fans. There is no one who would argue that when you walk down a sidewalk, you don't end up in a different place than where you started. Logically enough, you start your body moving, and a new scene unfolds in front of you, and then you get to add that to your bank of experiences. It is also possible to go on a walk in certain mental states and find yourself zoned out. And as far as your waking mind is concerned, you've teleported to a new location. Both examples result in you moving through time and space and being somewhere new. Only the one in which you're paying attention do you gain anything significant from your experience, even if you're through with walking at the end of both examples. Since we've all implicitly agreed that experience of life is preferable to floating through it like one of those video game avatars you sometimes catch students testing new hats out on, let's extend the metaphor by going on a walk with a friend. You walk with a friend down an empty street with nobody around, and you notice the environment around you similar to how you did when you were walking alone, because you've chosen to pay attention. But the difference is, perhaps you discuss the themes of your lives, maybe observations on the day-to-day. Maybe you kvetch and you complain about personal irritations. If you're a good friend, which of course you are, you spend much of your time on that walk actively listening to what the person with you is saying. Good listeners try to respond in a way that lets the other person know that they are heard. How do you do this? A good practice is to say something related to the content of the other person's conversation. In doing so, you make your brain integrate the other person's perspective into your own. You gain a little bit of insight into how another human being thinks, which then allows you to make your understanding of the world more complete. This also is why it's so obvious when students are only pretending to pay attention in class. You say, Hitler was bad and the Nazis were evil, as the answer to every question. Maybe you weren't 100% in the room. You need to keep practicing and learning to listen. This is growth, this is change, this is learning, and ultimately this is the center of living. What this example required was two people who made an effort to do something and to be present for each other. One final step in extending this metaphor. Imagine that you and your friend walked to this graduation ceremony and had the same discussion as you might have had walking down that empty street. You attend the ceremony with everyone else in this room, you see other people, you see how they react, you talk to some of them, and then as you leave, diploma in hand, or watch with love as others do so, you, on your way home, have a very different conversation with your friend than you would have if you had just been walking down that street kind of without going to this graduation. You discuss what you just went through, perhaps indirectly the impact of the passage of that time had on you. Being something you did with lots of other folks, it becomes easy to think about your life in relation to many others that you just spent 2 hours with. You walk extra steps, in a sense, by being with other people, and therefore can't help but mine more from the experience. What I'm saying is that doing things together gives us the best chance to recognize the truth of our relationship with the world. The ceremony is designed so the graduates behind me can know and almost see the earliest years of their adulthood, stretching before them. There's an audience to witness because being seen and seeing makes the abstract real. Being in a position where you are thinking critically about reality and your relationship to it gives a reason to think of why that might be the case. Much of the speech has been about the value specifically of the event we're currently in. This makes sense because I'm a paid lobbyist for the graduation industry, but a collective experience doesn't need to be this well organized. Thank you, Ms. Pulverari and Madam Boyle and Brenda, who organized all this and set up the chairs, just by the way, to deliver a meaningful impact and opportunity to learn. You could see a band with friends and witness the power of live music in a crowd and reflect on its power over you. You and your family could eat supper together and get better at knowing how to listen and to share. You could survive a harrowing outdoor adventure and gain faith in the competency of your travel companions, as well as a healthy awareness of your own mortality. One of the only other requests the graduates made of me before I gave this speech, and I'm going to do my best student impression for this, was, don't make the entire thing about COVID and what we missed out on. Sorry, I was a little hesitant about doing that, but I had to. But I also warned that it couldn't help but be important. You can't have lived through the most severe pandemic since the Spanish flu and the first global collective experience since the Second World War and not have your perspective on the changeability of the world altered. There's not a person on earth who's not walked down the same road as you in this last year or so, regardless of whether you notice them or not. My hope is that you use this experience and try to understand it through the lens of your place within our shared humanity. Then take that reflection and use it to make your impact on others as good as you possibly can make it be. I spent a little bit of time thinking about the kinds of collective experiences that I hope the graduates have as they move forward with their lives. And I'd like to end my remarks by stating some hopes for each individual graduate. Just to remind them that life doesn't always go exactly as planned, I'm going to be doing this in reverse alphabetical order, sorted by first name. All of these are sincere. Some are also because it seemed kind of like a fun idea at the time. It's a sort of prophecy, superlative kind of thing I'm going for. All right? Wyatt, I hope you end up in a room with a dozen people even smarter than you and have a blast learning from them. Victoria, for some reason, and I'm not sure why this is, I keep imagining you getting a paid internship and then getting a permanent job out of it, so I really encourage you to do so, because that is where I just kept going. Tim, I would love you to take a scriptwriting gen ed class and then find yourself suddenly in a Netflix comedy writer's room 10 years later. Ruben, you need to go to some sort of climate change protest march and connect with others as passionate as you. Ryan Herlihy, I hope a huge responsibility falls into your lap, that you enjoy bearing the burden of, and that you are part of a team that deals with it. Ryan Gage, if you have a chance to work with young people in any fashion, it would be good for the world, and I think for you as well, if you begin to see yourself as a potential mentor. If not, just be a secret agent. Robert, there is nothing I want to read in the paper more than hearing you won a hot chili eating contest. Noah Smith, a trip to Latin America and then you suddenly find yourself living in a tropical paradise seems like a good future for you. Noah Rivard, you deserve to take as many history classes as you get the opportunity to be a part of. Nate, I thought you would be a great audience for Tim's Netflix special. I was imagining him, in that writer's room, for some reason I kept picturing you cracking up. So that's what you're doing. Michael, I really hope you get a chance to play at Cooperstown when you're done with your service in the military. Matt, I think this one's probably a matter of temperament more than anything else, but I really want you to own a boat and hang out with your friends on it. Just have a nice time, Lucas, I hope you continue to get to spend a good deal of time with your family. There may be a point when you're all not in the same town and at the same schools, so I hope that doesn't make it less common. Kensington, you deserve to be able to spend time with friends on a nice porch surrounded by pets. Jonathan, I think you should run for office in your hamlet of a college town. It'd be an interesting experience and you'd be better at it than you think. Greta, you're going to meet people with whom you feel a tremendous sense of belonging as you continue to grow in expressing your creativity. Gavin, I hope you get involved in as many clubs as you have interest in college and whittle them down to the ones with the people that you value most. Emma, there's going to be a company board meeting at which you make an argument about company policy that makes people's lives better. Emily, excited for you to have your first trip to Miami with friends. Claire, there will be a time and a place where you'll find yourself surrounded by people and choices that you made to make yourself happy, and you won't regret those decisions. Chris, you will be well served by working a second or third shift job as you work towards a goal in your life. When you weren't working, it'd be nice if somebody invited you to hang out on their boat. Christian, all the world's a stage, and I hope you find yourself on as many as possible. Audrey, I could say the same thing for you as Christian, but instead I think it would be fun if you got to explain to a group of tourists how to swipe a Metro card on the subway. Ashley, something will need to be organized sensibly, and a large group of people will be grateful for you for doing it when no one else would. Ainsley, it'd be great if you got to participate in something totally ridiculous. A bunch of people dressed in bear costumes who walk through campus just to be strange, something like that. Abby, I hope you find yourself in a campus newsroom as an editor. The advice is often given, and is fundamentally correct, that you should try to be part of something bigger than yourself. The more you experience life as connections with other human beings over shared experiences, the better you will be able to understand yourself as fundamentally equal and the same as every other human being on this planet. The elemental empathy that comes with that knowledge carries with it an obligation to live a life in service to others. To paraphrase David McCulloch Jr., the son of the famous historian, the great truth of being human is that selflessness is the best thing you can do for yourself because you are the same as everyone else. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2021. And to quote Douglas Adams, so long and thanks for all the fish.
I'm particularly looking forward to going on YouTube and finding and making a meme of Mr. Garrett doing his kid impression there. Thanks, Claire, Wyatt, Ainsley, for your excellent speeches. I'm really glad that you had the opportunity to give them today at some point earlier on in the year. Who knew what today was going to look like? And I'm really pleased that everybody's been able to come and that you folks have been able to speak to everybody. Mr. Garrett, thank you for your message to the class. There are lots of thanks that got to be communicated out before we move on to our awards. This graduation ceremony just doesn't happen on its own, and there are lots of details that need to be taken care of to ensure that this night is special for everybody involved. And the following play an intricate role in making this an amazing night and a Smith Academy a special place. Thank you for the class of 2021 for your part in helping plan and prepare this event. Thank you to Madame Boyle for being the class of 21 advisor, and thank you also to Ms. Dina Polverari for being our graduation advisor and all of the work you've done to make today special for your class. I think for the first time in her life, Dina was lost for words when I explained that we're going to do it here with the bleachers. And she's pulled it off. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you to Balloons Around Town, LaSalle Florist, Simorowski Farm, Brenda Keir, Kat Kukowski, who's hiding in the cupboard, and Megan Bell for all of your incredible hard work in getting the gym looking so great tonight. Thank you also to John Novak and his team, Hatfield Community TV. It's, I think, streaming live on YouTube now, and there's a sign-up form in the website if you want to get a recording of it. And a very special thank you to Emma Kelly, President of the Class of 21. Thank you also to Vice President Ainsley Laflamme and Secretaries Ashley Phil and Ruben Lopez for all your work in remote planning, hybrid planning, in-person planning, on-the-bus planning, all the different types of planning this year. It's been really appreciated. Thank you to Riley Malinowski, Christy Dadman, and Mark Vollinger. Without all of your efforts in organising and planning this event, it just wouldn't have happened. Thank you to the various, I've got 5 pages of thank yous, by the way. Thank you to the various groups that supported our school and our students, including STARS, the Athletics Booster Club, CPAC, the Lions Club, the Hatfield Book Club, Hatfield's Cultural Council, and the Hatfield Agricultural Committee. Thank you to the Hatfield Police Department. Miss Monica's at the back with Luna. The Fire Department, our local state trooper barracks, for all their support, training, and steadfast presence, which makes us all feel safer. Thank you to the Smith Academy Board of Trustees, who are always there to support the school and our students. Thank you to the Hatfield Educational Foundation, whose support reaches all of our students, the Hatfield School Committee, and Superintendent Dr. Martin McAvoy. Thank you to you, parents and guardians of these fine young adults sitting up on here on the stage, on the bleachers, for providing them with the opportunity to succeed and give us the chance to help mould them into the people that they are today. And finally, a very special thanks to our outstanding faculty and support staff here at Smith Academy for your professionalism, dedication, and unwavering service to the class of 21 and all of our students. I'm not going to make a very long speech, but I did want to give a few remarks before I announce the awards and invite Mr. Robert Shea up to announce the Sophia Smith winner. Very quickly, the class of 21, your experience at Smith Academy has given you some content knowledge, I hope, but really it's your character that you'll need in walking beyond the school, the town, the state, and perhaps even the country. And I'm confident that your experiences in our school system have equipped you with the tools to successfully carve out your own path. And if nothing else, this unusual year has shown that you have a growth mindset and the flexibility to do what needs to be done in ways that may not always win awards, but are effective. Strength in being able to ask for help when you need it. Compassion in your support for each other. And a strong foundation. You have a community of support here that you can always come back to whenever you need it. I'm privileged to stand here today to be part of the Smith Academy tradition, and I want to extend my gratitude to Dr. McAvoy for his dignified leadership of the district in a very peculiar year. And now we move on to the Sophia Smith Awards. The Smith Academy trustees annually award Sophia Smith scholarships, and these scholarships are awarded to 4 graduating seniors who will be continuing their studies at institutions of higher education. The criteria used for selecting the Sophia Smith scholarship recipients by the scholarship committee is based on a graduating student's scholastic achievement, character, dependability, personality, and financial need. Additional requirements are that the student has been a resident of Hatfield for 4 years, that they've completed 4 years at Smith Academy, and that the student will continue to annually receive the scholarship upon verification of their continuous attendance at the institution of higher education of their choice. I would now like to call up Mr. Robert Shea, President of the Smith Academy Trustees, who will announce the recipients of the Sophia Smith Scholarship. I'm going to go a bit over there.
Okay. Good evening. It's my privilege to announce the 4 scholarships. First, the 2 four-year $800 scholarships to Jonathan Wilson and Emma Kelly. And the 2 four-year $600 scholarships to Wyatt Delaney LaFay and Victoria Rogers. Congratulations to the class of 2021.
Okay, so this is going to be the first time for doing it for the bleachers. All right. Now I'm going to call down the graduates in groups, and then one by one I'll read out their awards, and then they're going to go across the area here and pick up their diploma before returning to the bleachers. Okay? So get your cameras ready. So the first group of students, Chris Zima, Gavin Buckingham, Ruben Castellanos Lopez, Audrey Smith, and Noah Smith. Okay. First up, Christopher Aidan Zima. What we're going to do, I'm going to read the name and then the awards, and then you're going to clap. Okay, sorry. You probably rehearsed this differently, right? What did you do? Did I say the name and then read it? Okay, all right. We'll cut that bit out, John. Okay. Christopher Aidan Zima, class of 1976 scholarship, Helen and John Gasker Scholarship Award, John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Gavin Mecca Buckingham, Martha Pelissier Boyle Scholarship, Edward Petrella Memorial Award, Henry P. Betzold Memorial Scholarship Award. Ruben Ariel Castellanos Lopez, the Hatfield Lions Club Thaddeus Ted Cabot Award. Audrey Smith, who has done an incredible amount of work and will actually be graduating early. And Noah Smith. I'm going to call down the second group of students now. Robert Cernak, Matthew Marshall, Abby Shear, and Emily Blodgett. Robert Wayne Cernak, the Maureen A. Den Memorial Award, the Class of 1986 Scholarship, and the Helen and John Gasker Scholarship Award. Matthew Brooks Marshall, Presidential Award for Academic Excellence, achieved Pro Merito, and the Jane Yolin Award. Abigail Denise Shear, Class of 1977 Scholarship. Emily Helena Blodgett. Emily, that was just your introduction.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. No. That's okay. You just wanted to walk across twice, right? That was okay. We'll do that again. John, cut that. Okay. Emily Helena Blodgett achieved Pro Merito, Presidential Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement, the Jostens Medallion Award for Yearbook, Hatfield Education Foundation Award, the Sophie Makretsky Award for Academic Excellence, the Richard M. Sikorsky Memorial Award, Emily Catherine Duchesne Memorial Award, and the Daniel and Sharon Barker Scholarship Award. And the next group of students, Nathan Moynihan, Christian Kroll, Noah Rivard, Lucas Donahue, and Ryan Gage. Nathan Patrick Moynihan, member of the National Honor Society, Presidential Award for Academic Excellence, achieved Pro Merito, Jostens Medallion Award for Boys Athletics, Hatfield Emergency Medical Technicians Association's Award, the Edward J. Genevieve Wickles Memorial Award, John Legikowski Memorial Award, Hatfield Soccer Association Award, Teddy C. Simorowski Scholarship, and the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Congrats. Christian Michael Kroll, achieved Pro Merito, Presidential Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement, Sean Davey Scholarship, Peter Thuberge Scholarship, Hatfield Educational Foundation Award, and the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Noah Hunter Rivard, achieved Pro Merito, Presidential Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement, Tyler Scott Bell Memorial Scholarship, Helen and John Gaskett Scholarship Award, and the Ambassador and Mrs. Robert J. Ryan International Relations Award. Lucas James Donahue, the Gaudet Family Athletic Award, the Jerusalem Masonic Lodge Scholarship, Christine and John Adams Memorial Award, and the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Ryan Matthew Gage, Presidential Award for Academic Excellence, achieved Pro Merito, Hatfield Book Club Annual Literary Award, Victor and Gertrude Finkowski Scholarship Award, Hatfield Emergency Medical Technicians Association Award, the Lisa Swazlowski Leon Memorial Scholarship Award, and the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. And now the next group, Greta Cooper, Jonathan Wilson, Victoria Rogers, and Ryan Herlihy. Greta Anders Cooper, the Stars Award, Brenda Demers Scholarship, Emily Catherine Deshane Memorial Award, Stanley A. Malinowski, Albina S. Malinowski, and Stanley A. Malinowski Jr. Memorial Scholarship. Jonathan Matthew Wilson, member of the National Honor Society, Presidential Award for Academic Excellence, achieved Pro Merito, Justin's Medallion Award for Boys Activity, Maxwell Majaleski Award, Helen and John Gasker Scholarship Award, John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Victoria Marie Rogers, achieved Pro Merito, Presidential Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement, Helen and John Gasker Scholarship Award, Jean T. Kempisti Award, Patricia Zembiski Award. And Ryan Conrad Herlihy, the Dr. and Mrs. Robert C. Byrne Scholarship, Victor and Gertrude Finkowski Scholarship Award, and the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. And the next group of students, Michael Bassett, Emma Kelly, Timothy Palowski, Kensington Young. Michael Robert Bassett, Colonel Stephen Hillard Memorial Award, James Mullins Sr. Unsung Hero Award, John and Abigail Adams Scholarship, and Certificate of Appreciation of Your Service to the United States of America. Emma Haley Kelly, member of the National Honor Society, Presidential Award for Academic Excellence, achieved Pro Merito, Justin's Medallion Award for Girls Athletics, Sheriff Patrick J. Cahillane Scholarship, Louis Godet French Award, Florence Banks Scholarship, Stars Award, Women's Club Award, Frank Cohan Memorial Award, Helen and John Gasker Scholarship Award, Adolf and Anna Kaiser Memorial Scholarship Award, Maureen Den Memorial Award, Pachurik Electric Scholarship Award, and the Massachusetts Elks Association Scholarship Grant. Congrats. Timothy Joseph Pawlowski, achieved Pro Merito, Presidential Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement, Smithsonian Caterers and Chowder House Award, Brenda M. Osley Scholarship, Helen and John Gasker Scholarship Award. Kensington Elizabeth Young, achieved Pro Merito, Presidential Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement, Jerusalem Masonic Lodge Scholarship, and the Carol L. Cutter Memorial Award. And the final group of students, Claire Bennett, Ainsley Laflamme, Wyatt Delaney Lefebvre, and Ashley Phil. The unprecedented Claire Elizabeth Bennett, Justin's Medallion Award for Valedictorian, member of the National Honor Society, Presidential Award for Academic Excellence, achieved Pro Merito, Justin's Medallion Award for Yearbook, Sophie Makretsky Award for Academic Excellence, Matthew and Helen Klocko Memorial Award, Suzanne M. Novak Memorial Award, John Skarzinski Scholarship, Alfred J. Kaiser Memorial Scholarship Award, Beverly J. Payne Memorial Award, and the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Ainsley Cassandra Laflamme, member of the National Honor Society, Justin's Medallion Award for Third Honors Presidential Award for Academic Excellence, achieved Pro Merito, Edmund Shipwreck Jarowski, a Scholarship Award, Hatfield Lions Club Thaddeus Ted Cabot Award, John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Wyatt James Delaney Lefebvre, Justin's Medallion Award for Salutatorian, member of the National Honor Society, Presidential Award for Academic Excellence, achieved Pro Merito, Beverly J. Payne Memorial Award, Corey and Helen Bardwell Memorial Scholarship, Sophie Makretsky Award for Academic Excellence, Helen and John Gasker Scholarship Award, and John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Ashley Nicole Phil, member of the National Honor Society, Presidential Award for Academic Excellence, achieved Pro Merito, Justin's Medallion Award for Girls Activity, Hatfield Teachers Association Scholarship, Caldwell Banker Community Realtors Award, Frank Abano Award, Pachurik Electric Scholarship Award, Peter Faberge Scholarship, John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Don't worry, don't worry. Take your time. No one's watching, no one's watching. No one. And now I would like to invite all of the class of 2021 to stand as Superintendent McAvoy will complete the proceedings. Dr. McAvoy.
A big moment, you ready? All right. As Superintendent of Schools, it is my honor to officially inform the members of the Hatfield School Committee that all members of the Smith Academy class of 2021 have successfully fulfilled all requirements set forth by the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, as well as the Hatfield School Committee and are entitled at this time to receive their diplomas. Graduates, you may now flip your tassel from the right to the left of your caps. Congratulations.